What's up, students? And you're watching The In. My name is Dominic Raffa, and this is where you stay in the know. And here is my host.
Co-host?
Hello, my name is Dominic Raffa, and you're watching The In, where you stay in the know of what's happening in Illuminate Student Ministries. And here's my co-host.
Isaac.
Yeah. All right. So this past Wednesday, we're not able to meet because of the road conditions. It makes me want to fight snow. So I miss you guys deeply. It always stinks when we're not able to see them. Like there's a piece of you that's missing. But I know Ignition Christmas party's coming up next week, 6:30 to 8:30. So be ready for that. Wear your ugly sweater. We're gonna announce that as well. Wear an ugly sweater. We're gonna have an ugly sweater contest. We're gonna be doing elf trials. It's gonna be fun. Just come and invite a friend, bring an ugly sweater, and you'll see what happens. Here's a low-key lesson for you. All right, so as you know, we're not able to really meet, and for this lesson, I really wanted to knock out the Promised Land, but that's more of a reflection lesson. So before we get into the Promised Land, we're going to save that for January in our last series lesson, Through the Wilderness. But this is what I want you guys to do is really reflect on two verses. And I want you to pause this video after I say it. And it's Romans 12, 1 through 2. So pause the video, reflect on these verses, Romans 12, 1 through 2, and unpause the video after you spend some time just dwelling on it, seeing what it means, and prayer over it. And then we'll get back with you here in a little. Okay, so when it comes to Romans 12, 1 through 2, I'm going to read it. And it says, "And so, dear brothers and sisters, I plead with you to give your bodies to God because of all he has done for you. Let them be a living and holy sacrifice, the kind you will find acceptable. This is truly the way to worship him. Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect." Now, I could spend 12 years talking on this certain topic, but what I really want us to look at is, first off, I'm almost writing to you and saying, dear brothers and sisters, dear students at Illuminate, I plead with you to give your bodies to God because of all he has done for you. So many times we talk about what a life committed to Christ looks like, and a life committed to Christ is so awesome, and it's so great, and it's so satisfying and fulfilling when you start to put that into play, and when you give everything of yourself, when you love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, as we've read before. Something different happens to you. And you become a completely different person. And then you'll be a living and holy sacrifice, the kind he will find acceptable. And this is truly the way to worship him. This is truly the way to worship him, to where it's like by you giving up everything that you desire and that you want. Again, we look at Luke to where it says, hey, pick up a cross daily and follow him. Well, that's laying down your wants and desires to follow him, to pick up his cross and his wants and desires. And it says, don't copy the behaviors and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. After you start to follow Christ, you'll start to look like a new creation and not of this world. So we shouldn't be living like the world, but we are in the world, but we're changing, and the way we're thinking is becoming different. And it says, then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. And it's good, it's pleasing, and it's perfect. And when we start to live according to him and not the world, we'll see our life change in an awesome way. Isaac, what do you think?
So, obviously, I'm into musical worship. And so when he says that this is truly the way to worship him, that kind of stands out a little bit. Just broadening the definition of worship and what kind of worship should be centered around. Because musical worship has a lot of power to it, but it's almost like it has more power to it if you worship outside of the music. So it's like continuously worshiping. And the musical worship is more of like a proclamation of what you're doing personally in your worship.
Yeah. Literally following Christ in every way, in every area and aspect of your life is worship, you know? And I know we had Ignition Night where we talked about what worship looks like. And it wasn't just about the music and the instruments, it was about living your life committed to Christ and abiding in Him and choosing Him over your sin and obedience and praising Him throughout the day. And it might seem really hard and like it might seem like a huge task, but I think the first thing that we can do to make it really easy is just start off our day and saying, God, I give you today. I don't want to live like the world. I want to live for you. So, and again, the more you spend time with someone, the more you start to act like them, talk like them, think like them, and the more time you spend with Christ, the more time you start to spend, the more time you, the more, 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 the more you look like Him. So yeah,
And the more you spend time with Him, the more natural it will come.
yeah.
Like you won't be like trying to make it happen. It will literally happen.
Yeah. Yeah, we all look at these spiritual giants and it's like, man, like that pastor, he's got it, like, you know, like I wish I knew the Bible like him and stuff. And it's like, again, we don't compare ourselves, but it's like, man, we push each other and encourage each other to where it's like, man, you can't have that. If you just spend the first, you know, you take that easy step, 5 minutes. And that's what I had to do is I had to start spending, you know, the simple 5 minutes in the Word. And now it's like, I can't get enough of it. And we're trying out these different spiritual disciplines, fasting, more time in prayer, intentional prayer of adoration, and just all that cool stuff. So it really does change your life. And as teenagers, I need you guys to understand how important it is to follow Christ at such a young age and start that now, because it will be so much easier when it comes to following Christ as an adult, and you'll be more Christ-centered in thinking and so forth. And again, we always, you know, we're always going to fall into sin. We're not going to be perfect. He expects us to strive towards holiness and obedience, but it's motivated by His love, and you need His love every day, and you need His strength, and you need His wisdom, and that's something that you ask for at the beginning of the day. And only then will you be able to see God at a different lens. So, yeah. So there was a low-key lesson for you.
Wednesday a high key lesson?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It is a high-key lesson. Let's dive into the fact of the day. So, Isaac, what is your fact of the day?
My fact of the day is that Coca-Cola
Coca-Cola!
was the first soft drink in space.
Whoa.
Like, just the first soft drink to go to space.
I think it got in a space shuttle all by itself.
Now, it wasn't like made in space. That'd be pretty cool.
No. It was the first, I saw this on TV, the Coca-Cola can, like, kind of like went into the spaceship for Papua New Guinea, and they launched it.
Maybe not fact check that one.
My fact of the day, Elvis only won 3 Grammys. Joke's on him, I have 2 Grammys. Grandmother Rafa and Grandmother Gangwer. How many grandmothers do you have?
I also have 2 Grammys.
Okay, let's actually talk about this. Do you call them grandmothers, grandmas? What do you call them?
So I call the one grandma, and I call the other one Mima.
Ooh, you're a Mima guy.
Yeah.
I've only heard of Mima once. I call mine Grams. I'm a Grams guy. And then I call my grandfathers Pops.
The one is Grandpa, and the other one is Peepaw.
So as you can tell,
Are we?
a little bit of facial hair. So do you think, here's what you need to comment. Comment if we should keep the beards or not. Regardless, they're staying until the 21st of December. But if we should keep them on after that or not. So comment that below, and you will be able to receive a prize for Ignition Night. So honestly, I think that's it for the end, unless there's anything else you want to talk about. So yeah, next week, 6:30, I'll see you guys at the Ignition Christmas party. Miss you, love you. Let me know if you guys need anything, and thanks for watching.
What a wonderful